first question, is there a meditation style best suited for overcoming mental affliction? What is the significance of the lotus flower and its color in Buddhism? Now let's answer the first part of the question first. Is there a meditation style most suited for overcoming mental afflictions? All meditation, as long as it's meditation, is to overcome mental afflictions. There's no such thing as a certain style that overcome mental afflictions. Meditation is a process of studying your own mind. Why do you have to study your own mind? Why do I have to study my own mind? Why are you unhappy? Why do you feel sad? Why did somebody pass away and you feel so grief-stricken about it? Because of attachment. There's a certain love or relationship that you attach to that you become agonizing yourself. Imagine Buddhism talking about reincarnations. There's so many lives before, and if you have to go into samsara, life and death, you still have many, many lives to go through in reincarnations. You have so many lives that you have gone through before, and in every life, you could be the son or daughter of your parents, and how many times you mourn the death of your parents and your grandchild, or the death. How many times you mourn the death of your brothers and sisters, of your nephew, of your niece? Billions of times. That's the agony that you are going through in all lives that you have. When Buddhism talking about time dimension, it's not just of the present life, you know. There were many, many past lives. Unless you stop this agony of birth and rebirth, which the Buddha has already have attained nirvana, you still have to go through many, many life cycles. And so I have changed my topic a little bit to about life and death, because I see that there's going to be a ceremony that has to be done with all these young guys, young people in here, and you should know why you're coming here. You should know, why am I coming to mourn the death of certain one? Or why do I have to chant? What's the purpose of chanting? What kind of merits will be accrued to the dead? All these questions should be asked. Not just come here to mourn and cry and that's it. No. You have to understand life. Through the death of someone, which is a lesson to you, you should understand, where do I come from? Why do I have to die? Why do I have this attachment to the passed away? And how do I resolve this agony? What should be done about it? There's a lot of wisdom in it, which we call Buddhism. That's the reason why you're here. Maybe the fact that you come to this temple to mourn the death of a certain relative or friend that's the time that you should know something about life. Why are we coming to this world? Why do we have to die? Why, after all this, being born, being a child, being an adult, going to do the job, make the money, raise the children, and then I die? Why? There's a lot of whys in why we're going through this. All these questions have to be asked. Anyway, get back to this question about how to overcome mental afflictions. If you can do meditation, you already have the ability to overcome mental afflictions. Meditation is to understand your mind so that you won't attach to. You can let go. You can let go of your attachment. And so much has to be explained about that. It can't be done in just a few sentences. It can't be done even by a sitting of luncheon in here that you can resolve the problem. It's all in the Buddhist teaching that you should spend your time in studying and practicing about it. I have a lot of lectures on YouTube. If you get into YouTube, my lectures are both in English, in Cantonese, and in Mandarin. Most of my lectures are in Guangdonghua and English. How do you spend your time on YouTube? Not just X Factor, not just Got Talent show, not just whatever you want to see, or the entertainment. Get into something spiritual. Get into something that will change your life. That will get into something that will enhance your understanding of life. Venture into that spiritual, I usually call it a spiritual odyssey of life. It's very interesting. When you are watching a movie, you're watching the script done by somebody. Why don't you watch the script of your own life? Why am I doing this? What do I do? What's the purpose of life? What is the intent of life? All that is in the Buddhist teaching. There's no such thing as a particular style. There are two parts to meditation. The first part is focus and attention, which we call samatha, ji in the Cantonese language. You have to learn how to focus. Why do we have to focus? I'm talking about the first part. You have to focus your attention first. Why do we have to focus? Because our mind has not been focusing. Our mind is like a monkeying mind. You're jumping from one branch to another. You're jumping from one thought to another. In this moment, I have a thought of greediness. In the next moment, I have a thought of sensual pleasure. In another moment, I have a thought of ignorance. In another moment, I have a thought of sadness. In another moment, I have a set of depression. I want to cry now. I want to laugh now. Every thought is like a monkeying thought in your mind. It's non-stop, 24 hours non-stop. It's been roaming all over the place like a monkey jumping from one branch to another. That's why we call it a monkeying mind. Now, you know samatha? You want to put that monkey on a leash. The monkey will still go. You can't stop the monkey because habitually you have been thinking like that. So you want to put your monkey on a leash, your mind monkey on a leash, and when it goes too far, you want to put it back. Right now, your mind is not under your control. You think that you're a master of your own mind, but you are not. You are a slave of your own mind. Why did I say you are a slave of your own mind? Your mind wants you to cry, then you cry. Your mind wants you to steal, to lie, to commit sexual misconduct, to do bad things. You do it. Because your mind tells you to do it. Your action, your speech is the slave of your own mind, and you don't know about it. So the first thing is to know about all these things. Focus, attention. Don't let that monkey go too far. When it goes far, pull it back. As long as on a leash, you can pull it back. You want a monkey to stay put. You want your mind to stay put, to focus, to be attentive. So that's the first part of the meditation. It's not about getting a god. It's not about your health, a yoga exercise. It's not about that. It's about how do you put your focus, how you concentrate, how you do that focus. That's the first part. And to go a little further. Yeah, I learned the first part. How did it help me? How does the first part, if I'm successful in controlling my mind, how does it help me? You know how it can help you? If you can focus. You know how it can help you if you can focus? Say if you're a student, if your focus is strong, you will be an A student. If you're a worker, if your focus is strong, you'll be an A employee. If you're a mother, if your focus is strong, you're a super mother or a super father. Because the reason why people can't do things well is because they lose their concentration and their focus. All right, that's your focus. The next part of your meditation is vipassana, which is contemplation, which relates to the wisdom of it. Not just the focus, you have to increase that focus to a level where the wisdom would creep in. Why do you need that wisdom? Because that monkey is not still yet. You want to convince that monkey, the mind has to be absolutely still. To convince the monkey, you need logic. Not just logic, you need wisdom to convince the monkey to stay. Otherwise, the monkey won't listen to you. How can anyone convince a monkey to stay put? You can't even control your mind to stay put. How can you control your monkey mind to stay put? So all these is involved in meditation, not just one style in which you can overcome your mental afflictions. Say that if you are good with samatha, with focus. So that if you are agonizing, you're crying, you are in depression, if you are in control, you tell yourself, I'm not going to depress. Depression is a kind of monkey that sends me into depression. I want to change it. You are the master of yourself because you can change it. You can change your depression, your phobia, your anxiety, your laziness. All that is out of control. Now you control it. You won't be as lazy. You won't be as depressive. You won't have the anxiety. You won't have the fear. You won't have the anger. You won't have the ignorance. You see how strong this meditation is? So that's what it is. So what is the significance of the lotus flower and its color in Buddhism? The significance of a lotus flower is grown from the mud, but then it's detached from the mud. This is like a simile, metaphorically, it's like a simile. We're living in a world with a lot of miseries, a lot of sufferings in this world. But in spite of that, we can learn to purify ourselves, to stand aloof of suffering and mental afflictions, like a lotus flower, aloof from the water. Learn to be like the purity of a lotus flower, growing from the mud of miseries, but is able to be away from suffering and be aloof and be purified. What kind of color? Lotus has many colors. It can be white, it can be green, and yellow. The color does not matter. Is color in Buddhism? Yeah, it's a color. It's just a color. Culturally, China likes a vigorous color for lotus. They like a red lotus. Or some people like the purity of white. They have white. Some people like purple, violet. So the color doesn't really matter. All right, next question. Is one able to pass on positive karma that they have accumulated onto another person? If so, must the person's negative karma be paid before they can do so? Nobody can pass any of his own karma to anybody. If that is the case, that could be sold for money. It's just like, oh, I have a karma, a positive karma, and you will put it so negative, I'm going to sell it to you for $100,000. Do you want to accept it? How can you sell your own karma? You cannot even sell your health. Say, I am in good health, you are in poor health. I'll give you my good health for $100,000. Can you pass that good health to someone with a bad health? You cannot pass. There's something that is so valuable, so beyond descriptions that it cannot be monetized. You cannot put a unit onto it. You cannot pass karma. So you be responsible for your own karma. Everything you thought, every action, every speech produce karma. Be careful with your thought. If every thought is a thought of selfishness, a thought of anger, then the significance is you would perform actions and speech with anger. So be very careful with your thought, be careful with your speech, be careful with your action. You see, right now, I can see that everybody seems to be listening, but I can see that, according to my experiences, some people listen without insight, and they may even find it boring. It doesn't seem to affect them. But every word could pierce into your consciousness. It's absolutely important that you should turn back. Don't involve in any karmic energy that is bad for you. You suffer from it. You've got to do it in the next minute, not waiting until next year. You got to change now. Otherwise, you will be responsible for it. 一日无常到. When one day death comes, 方知梦里人. Life is but a dream. All of a sudden you realize. When death comes, all of a sudden you realize life is but a dream. 万般带不去. There's nothing I can bring with me when I die. The only thing I can bring with me, that I have to bring with me, I have no choice, is what I have done. The karmic energy I have done. That I will bring to my next life. Nothing you can bring. Not your bank account, not your Shaughnessy house, not your Ferrari if you have one, I presume, not a Volkswagen. It's a Ferrari. You're driving a Ferrari, can you bring it with you? You know, in the Chinese culture, it's interesting. They try to build a Ferrari in paper, and they burn it, and they think that they can give that to the passed away. So nothing you can bring with you. Only your karmic energy. You think everything you thought, you spoke, you act is not of significance? The tiniest bit has karmic energy in it. So watch your thought, not just to action. Your thought gives rise to words. Your thought gives rise to action. Don't let it give rise and then you feel sorry about it. You have to change right at the thought level, not with the obvious appearance level. All right, I can go on and on, but I don't want to. So, what's my last question? How can you practice wholesome emotions such as joy, love, happiness without attachment? When joy comes, just let it come. Enjoy. Be delighted with the joy. When joy comes, don't think about it negatively. Oh, joy comes. Oh, I feel bad about joy because trouble may come later. Don't feel about it. Just enjoy what at the present moment. But don't attach to the joy. So in other words, if joy comes to an end, don't feel, it's come to an end. Every banquet has an end. You go to a party, the party will come to an end. There's no party without saying goodbye. There's no banquet without saying goodbye. What's that Chinese word? Chinese sentence? 天下無不散之筵席啊嘛. Don't grieve over the death too much. Actively do you what have to do. Be a nice person. Or do something for the dead. 天下無不散之筵席. Every party will have come a time then you have to say goodbye. Why do you attach to the party? I don't want to leave. No, you got to leave. When the party comes to an end, when the curtain comes down, that's the end. That's the time when you should be singing My Way. You don't know that song, My Way? Now the end is near. The curtain has to come down. That's a good song, My Way. But don't do it the way so bigotry. Don't do it the way that you're so confused. Don't do it the way that you are enhanced with an ego in it.